If you're a small business owner today, your feed is probably just overflowing with artificial intelligence hype, right? Everyone and their mother is telling you that AI will either make you a billionaire overnight or literally put you out of business by next Tuesday. Well, today, we're completely bypassing all of that noise. We're going to take a grounded, strictly data-backed look at AI voice agents as we sit here in 2026. We are focusing on the bottom line reality, separating the flashy Silicon Valley hype from the actual everyday operational impact this technology is having on local service businesses right now.
Okay, let's dive into this tightly packed agenda. We'll be covering the current state of adoption, the missed call math, is the tech ready, ROI and payback periods, what the numbers exclude, and finally, your next steps.
Section 1, current state of adoption. Who is actually using this? Now, what's really interesting about this first piece of data is who is actually pulling out their credit cards for this tech, and the answer might genuinely surprise you. There's a massive, glaring gap between small businesses and huge corporations. While enterprise AI deployments are the ones grabbing all the flashy headlines, Gartner's 2025 data tells a different story. Small and medium businesses, the ones with 1 to 50 employees, are adopting AI voice agents at an 89% year-over-year clip. That is over twice as fast as enterprise adoption, which sits at just 34%. Why? Well, because a small dental clinic or a local HVAC contractor has exponentially more to gain here. They don't have dedicated 24/7 reception staff, right? So the baseline for comparison isn't a human agent, it's a missed call.
Zooming out a bit, AI voice research found that production voice AI deployments grew by a staggering 340% across the board in 2025. And here's the crucial context. This massive growth isn't about businesses aggressively trying to fire their front desk staff. Absolutely not. It is entirely about solving a very specific, painful operational gap. Small businesses are essentially using this tech as a giant safety net to handle overflow. They're stopping the bleeding of lost opportunities when their human staff is simply too busy helping someone else to pick up the phone. Section 2, the missed call math, identifying the leakage. Let's transition over to the core financial argument driving all of this massive adoption. And to do that, we have to look at the hard, honestly somewhat painful math of what happens when your front desk gets overwhelmed. Forbes tracked consumer communication preferences back in 2025. And this 86% metric, this is the foundational bedrock for the whole AI voice agent use case. That is the percentage of callers who, the second they hit a voicemail greeting, will immediately hang up without leaving a message. For the modern consumer, voicemail is effectively a dead end. If they don't get a live response, you know as well as I do. They are already dialing your competitor on Google before your voicemail beep even sounds. So let's attach a real dollar figure to that 86% abandonment rate. According to BIA Advisory Services, the average immediate revenue value of a captured call that would have otherwise gone to voicemail is $125. And for medical or legal practices, we're talking closer to $200 or $300. Think about your own business for just a second. If you miss just 4 calls a day and 86% of them hang up, you are quietly, invisibly burning hundreds of dollars in lost revenue every single afternoon. It just evaporates. And when exactly are you missing these calls? Marchex Analytics data shows that 34% of daily call volume for service businesses arrives outside of standard business hours. We're talking before 9 a.m., after 5 p.m., and on weekends. Unless you have a 24-hour answering service on payroll, those calls are completely unprotected. So this is exactly where AI is being deployed right now, explicitly as a safety net to catch that 34% of revenue opportunities that fall completely outside of your standard staffing hours. Section 3, is the tech ready? Performance and caller sentiment. Now, it is completely valid to look at those missed revenue numbers and still hesitate. We've all been there, right? Screaming, "Representative, human," into our phones at some infuriating phone tree. So let's address the elephant in the room directly. But do callers actually hate talking to AI? It is the exact, totally understandable doubt keeping most business owners on the fence. We naturally assume our customers will feel alienated or frustrated if a real human doesn't answer the phone. But when we look at the 2026 consumer sentiment data, it paints a very different picture. A massive Salesforce survey of 14,000 consumers found that 68% actually prefer interacting with AI for simple tasks. We're talking things like scheduling an appointment, checking store hours, or basic inquiries. They prefer that over waiting on hold for a human. It turns out caller frustration isn't actually rooted in the agent's lack of humanity. It's rooted in wait times. Speed, immediate acknowledgement, and rapid resolution, those are the true metrics of good customer service today.
let's move to this next piece of data and see how this builds, because why are consumers suddenly okay with this? Well, it all comes down to technical response time. Back in 2024, AI agents had this sluggish 1200 millisecond delay. It literally felt like talking to someone on a satellite phone in the 90s. But researchers established that the threshold for a natural feeling conversation is anything under 800 milliseconds. By 2026, the median latency has dropped to 680 milliseconds. Closing this latency gap has effectively eliminated those awkward, uncanny valley pauses that used to define automated voice tech.
And because of that incredible speed, we arrive at this frankly wild data point from Stanford University's 2025 Voice AI Perception Study. In controlled blind tests, 79% of callers could not correctly identify whether they were speaking with an AI or a human receptionist during routine interactions. The technology has definitively crossed the threshold of baseline operational readiness. It no longer sounds like a robot reading a script, it just sounds like a really, really efficient receptionist. Section 4, ROI and payback periods. Does the math make sense? So the tech works, and customers surprisingly don't mind it. But does the math actually make sense for your bottom line? Let's take a radically transparent look at the unit economics. According to 2026 data from Gartner and McKinsey, the cost to have a human agent resolve a call ranges from $7 to $12 when you factor in labor, benefits, and overhead. An AI voice agent? It resolves that exact same call for somewhere between 40 cents and $1.18. That is a 90% plus unit cost reduction. But, and I want to be crystal clear here, for small businesses, this isn't about firing your amazing office manager. No way. It is about augmenting your team's capacity for literal pennies on the dollar, letting the AI handle the 50 repetitive, hey, are you open today calls, while your highly trained staff handles the high-value in-person client standing right in front of them. When you combine those pennies on the dollar operational costs with the revenue captured from previously missed calls, remember those $125 abandoned voicemails we talked about? The payback period is exceptionally short. Forrester's Total Economic Impact Study puts the median time to ROI break-even for service businesses at just 3.2 months. If you have steady call volume, the technology effectively pays for itself within a single financial quarter. That's huge. Section 5. What the numbers exclude. Radical transparency on AI limits. Now, this is arguably the most critical section for skeptics. If a software vendor tells you AI can do absolutely everything flawlessly, they are lying to your face. We need some radical transparency on where this technology outright fails. And this brilliantly illustrates the strict boundaries of AI voice agents today. For routine tasks like scheduling or FAQs, AI boasts a 92 to 96% success rate, and only 13% of people demand a human for those tasks. However, look at that second set of numbers. For complex problem solving or emotionally charged calls, like a stressful billing dispute or a medical emergency, humans prefer a human agent 84.9% of the time. The AI actually recognizes this and ends up escalating roughly 27% of all calls back to human staff anyway. So the takeaway? AI is a fantastic gatekeeper for the routine, but humans absolutely must be present to handle the complex and the emotional. Furthermore, HubSpot's 2025 analysis highlighted a very vital limitation. Businesses with very low call volume, specifically under 5 calls per day, actually saw a negative ROI. And honestly, this makes perfect sense. If you only get a few highly specialized calls a week, do not force expensive new tech into your workflow. This is where you should stick to cheaper built-in options like a standard answering service or a basic automated SMS text back from your current CRM. Don't go buying a complex solution for a problem your business simply doesn't have. Section 6. Your next steps. A grounded strategy for small businesses.
So, we've looked at the adoption curves, the math, the tech readiness, and the very real limitations. Let's synthesize all this data into actionable, grounded takeaways for your specific business reality today. First, if you know you're missing calls, pull up your phone records. Take 34% of your total volume, assume those are missed after-hours calls, and multiply that by $125, or whatever your own average ticket size is. That number right there is your leakage. Second, if you're still nervous about how your customers will react to an AI, just don't use it during the day. Deploy it strictly as an after-hours safety net or a hold-time overflow valve. Put your toe in the water. Finally, a quick geographic note. If you operate in Europe, you absolutely must budget an extra 15 to 25% for systems that meet mandatory GDPR compliance and strict transparency laws.
So the crucial point is this. Don't look at AI as some sci-fi employee coming to take your team's jobs. Look at it as a net.